The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
We create
the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me.
No man is big enough for us.
Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school.
No man is big enough for us.
The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
Won't stand still.
Your story is my story. Your story is my story.
Won't be shamed.
Your story is my story. Your story is my story. Story.
No man is big enough for us.
And I told them that they should disregard anyone.
Buckle up, Buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I am one of your hosts. Joining me in the virtual studio today are my co-hosts, Donna. How are you, Donna?
All the way live in St. Louis. I know I don't sound like it,
Oh
but
my
you just have
gosh.
to take my word for it this one. Yeah.
All right. So Donna's in St. Louis. Maria, how are you this morning?
I am doing fine. I am in Florida.
Oh, yay. Okay. So that makes two of us. Yeah, we've been on the road. We've taken the show on the road for the last couple of weeks. So glad to be back live. And oh my gosh, so many things to discuss today. Well, as every day goes nowadays. I'll give the Surly disclaimer up top. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF Tampa. So, Maria, tell me what we are talking about today.
I think we should,
Recording in progress.
do a little examination of the latest dump of the Epstein files, more particularly the unredaction and the confrontation that Congressman Massey and Congressman Khanna had with the Justice Department to get some of those names revealed. Mm-hmm. And yesterday's hearings with Pam Bondi's
Oh my gosh, what a train wreck.
very shrill meltdown. And I think we should do some Bad Bunny conversation.
Yes, because I have never seen so many butthurt white people in my life. Holy cow. It's like, not only, all right, you want to have your own show, go have your own show. And
look at how sorry it is. What a metaphor for America.
Right. And so, yeah. And then they're all again drinking from the same fountain of propaganda because they all say the same criticisms. Oh, there was men grinding on each other. I didn't see that, but I wasn't looking for it.
Well, if you were looking in the Epstein files, you might have found it.
Ooh, Lord.
I digress.
So yeah, and then Laura. It was one of the
Laura Loomer.
Yes, I think it was her. So one of the either she or somebody of her ilk was talking about there was not a single white person on the stage. Meanwhile, there's Lady Gaga who's so white she like glows in the dark.
At one time in America, Italian people were not considered white. So
that's what one of the responses was, oh, hey, Italian people, they've taken away the white card. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't do sports, so I wasn't sitting there, with bated breath waiting to see what was going to happen. But I saw the replay later, and I'm like, what are they complaining about? Yeah.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was absolutely excellent. I thought it was beautifully done. I don't speak Spanish,
I
but
don't.
you know what? His English is better than my Spanish. Let's put it that way.
Right.
You
Same.
know?
Same.
So, I just thought it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, and it told a beautiful story. Um, I love, um, I love his context. I love the energy. I loved everything about it. I absolutely did.
Right.
And maybe if we had a lot more Bad Bunny, we would not have bad politicians. I don't know.
I'm afraid we are stuck with those for a little while anyway. Donna, what were your thoughts about the Bad Bunny Bowl? Oh, we might have lost her for a second. All right, so
She's on mute.
Oh.
Donna, if you're talking, you're on mute.
So okay, she must have gotten distracted by something. So anyway, that I could find no fault with it. Like you, Maria, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I know very few words, but that didn't make a difference to me. It's like when you go to watch an opera. Most of the time, it's in German or in Italian. And what's the problem?
I'm thinking the Kid Rock crowd isn't going to an opera, sweetie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you're probably right.
I'm thinking that's just not their flow either.
But I mean, but if you think back, I mean, every single year that I can recall, there's no pleasing everybody.
I don't think I think you're right. There is no pleasing everybody, but at the end, it is very revealing, right?
Right.
Like, I think that if people just kind of settle into it and get out of their feelings, they realize just how much of our culture, our culture that we call American culture, is born from the Americas. As he reminded us that all of these places are part of America.
Right.
You're talking about making America great again. You're talking about Honduras and Venezuela and Guatemala and Mexico and, Cuba, Puerto Rico, everything, everywhere. And every flag was represented, which I thought was a great addition. I thought everything about it was a beautiful story to be told.
Yeah, it was real.
I mean, and to remind us that, like, there's beauty in even the struggle, right? Like the working in the sugar canes and the arc of the story talked about was not always pretty, but it really demonstrated this ability to. We always talk about grit. Grit was right in front of you. I don't know if you didn't see it. That's on you.
Right. So we've already gotten an email on the topic. So you would be okay with a German band doing the Super Bowl in German? Yes, I would. However, since there are no international German bands speaking German lyrics, I doubt that's going to be a possibility, but who knows?
So, I mean, I'm going to, like, every time I'm on here, my mother is Dutch, okay? The reality of it is that America is the only place that lacks multiculturalism in terms of languages the way other countries do.
Right.
Even the French.
Right.
My mother spoke 7 languages. My grandfather from Senegal spoke 5 languages. Like, we are the only people that want to believe that English is the only language that should prevail. And quite frankly, English was the second dominant language in this country after Spanish when this country was founded. So, I mean, it's just a tired trope. and just,
Yeah.
get out of your feelings about it.
Right. Well, and to make another distinction with this hypothetical German band doing the Super Bowl in German, Bad Bunny is an American citizen. He speaks a language that is a very popular. I mean, I don't know that there aren't more people speaking Spanish in the United States than there are English.
I think that they said something like, I don't want to quote it, but it was like 35% of American households, someone speaks a different language, right? That's pretty significant.
Yeah. And then he is like one of the hottest artists out there right now. He has sold over 15 million albums, had tons of singles. I mean, I don't know how white people got the idea that they own the Super Bowl
or that they own music.
Or that they own music, yeah. And that, the message that was put out was, love is stronger than hate. And I couldn't find anything wrong with and I looked, of course, I'm sure that there are lots of people who watched the alternate, the Kid Rock extravaganza who can tell me otherwise, but it was cinematically just on point, colorful, joyous. There was a couple from Tampa got married at the Super Bowl on stage with Bad Bunny. So it's like, this is like a celebration.
It's all your traditional Americana values.
Yeah.
Just in Spanish.
Right.
And y'all are upset that you didn't have subtitles.
Yeah. Not that they would have read the subtitles because.
But I mean, it's like read the room. Like you could absorb, if you allow yourself to, you could absorb you could relate to everything on there, right?
Exactly.
As Americana.
Families. I mean, it had all the
I thought it was really cool too that, there was a woman who, one of the last social clubs in Brooklyn, was there, and she's in her like 80s. She was on stage. You had Cardi B was there. Jessica Alba was there. Pedro Pascal was in the, there. They were all like backups. It was really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. I have another email says about Bad Bunny is American. Puerto Rico is a part of America. What's wrong with Puerto Rico? Getting a little shy at the Super Bowl for once. It was well done. It's about time. Then we have, that was supposed to read Puerto Rico getting a little shine, not shy. Okay. I was kind of.
And that was the other thing though, too. It's like he also had the electric poles. Right.
And they were right.
And do you remember, they're still struggling with Hurricane Maria, and, it's a little reminder that like your president throwing paper towels at people is not the solution to everything.
Yes. So, yeah, I thought it was one of the better Super Bowls I've seen. But, yeah, I can't remember the last time that there wasn't a complaint about it. This is the first time I think anybody's put on a full-on alternate concert. So, and what about the children? Well, you're watching.
What about there's 1,000 of them listed in the Epstein files. What are you doing about them? Right?
Yes. Amen.
I want children to be exposed to different cultures. What about the children?
Exactly.
What about children like Liam who were incarcerated in the middle of the night for being a 5-year-old going to school?
Right. And used as bait.
What about the children?
Yeah. What about the children? Well, aside from that, you're watching dudes beat each other senseless. So there, yeah. All right. Here's another text. The biggest problem is that he just did a world tour and did not do any dates in the U.S. in protest, but performs at the Super Bowl. And
That's not a problem.
and yeah, he made it clear.
How's that a problem?
Right,
The Super Bowl is going to manage security, right?
right.
And it's a protected space, right? How are you supposed to protect people who do want to come out and see you, people who do, because we're stopping people in the middle of the street based on how they look?
And
How
not,
are you?
Yeah, and not
Right.
even
Like literally in a Bad Bunny concert in America, you might have like 60% of the people there are gonna be profiled because of how they look. The only person sitting in the audience would be John Hamm, because I hear he goes to every single one of Bad Bunny's concerts.
Oh, wow. You might as well just get a seat at the back of the tour bus.
But it was wild. I saw this video clip of him like he's like got on a Hawaiian shirt and the boxer shorts, and he's just like dancing away with his bucket hat on, grooving the Bad Bunny. It was hilarious
Oh, my gosh.
in his own world.
Here is another message. I heard the lyrics translated into English were obscene. Is that true? No. When we play a song on the radio, it's there's an explicit
So,
version
like-
and a clean version. All right, go ahead.
Isn't there a so like the translation for the song I think that he won the Grammy for is I should have taken more photos. Right? And it's about the arc of your life. And really embracing and enjoying and taking more photos and being more mindful of the moments, right?
So yeah, clean version, explicit version. Clean version is what you heard at the Super Bowl. And if you're relying on Google Translate or some other kinds of things, why don't you just find yourself a Puerto Rican person that you know, if you know any, and ask them to listen to it and tell you what it says. Then that way you will know exactly how explicit or not the lyrics were. And let's not talk about, all right, if we're going to talk about obscene lyrics, okay, I can refer you to several Kid Rock songs that have obscene lyrics. So don't come with that. All right, let's talk to Edgar in Tampa. Hi, Edgar.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. As actually a Puerto Rican artist too, also painter. Now that it's all over, there's a lot of talk about was it enough to be able to sort of, talk about everything that's going on around the world. Was it really just enough in terms of its message? And the question is, was that the intent, or was the intent to show a story? But, there are, some questions about, was the message strong enough to be able to make a change?
Well, I don't think we can depend on a Super Bowl halftime show to turn things around, because we're way past that point.
I think we're gonna be breaking this down like the same way for weeks, like we did the Kendrick Lamar event, right? Everything that every part of the performance, every step, every set piece of the set design was intentional. And for example, the version of the Puerto Rican flag that they carried and that he carried through the Super Bowl was significant.
Yeah,
and I think
yeah. And I also wanted to make sure that there's also, we kind of, overlooked the fact that, within his residency, I think he was actually making a statement in terms about platforms and making sure that, people know that, he was going into this larger platform already making a statement about the idea that he was going to just be very concise to the Puerto Rican people in the island. And now it was time to generate a larger platform. So now when we talk about, halftime shows and the powers that control that, and at the same time, we're getting a lot of, defunding of nonprofits, the closing down of institutions and the censorships of other artistic platforms. Is it a time that now all of a sudden, the powers that be is actually what's going to control the funnel of the artistic talent?
Good question. Thanks so much for calling, Edgar.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
I don't know if it's gonna. I think that I've already seen, like, personally, people become more curious about the history of Puerto Rico and the liberation movement in Puerto Rico, and I think that not any one thing is going to be that sort of turning point, if you will. But I think that cumulatively, we can examine and explore and be curious, and for everything that's spoken and about the Super Bowl. It's on us to examine it, explore it, and do our research.
Right.
Be more curious.
Exactly. And, if you think the lyrics are obscene, go ahead and get them translated by somebody who actually speaks Puerto Rican Spanish, and let's see how that plays out for you. I need to play a public service announcement that I messed up at the front end. So we're going to play that real quick, and then we'll get back to it.
Comes from listeners like you and Indivisible Pinellas, presenting Run for Something, an event focused on civic engagement and community participation. Run for Something takes place Saturday, February 21st at 3:30 p.m. More information is available at indivisiblemidpinellas.org.
Now, okay. Public service announcement done. So let's go on to our other topics du jour. You want to kick it off, Maria?
Want to talk about Pam Bondi first? Or
yes. Oh my gosh, what a train wreck!
Donald Trump is the greatest president America has ever had. She was out of control,
and just like hollering at people.
So I said to a friend of mine yesterday, and I was watching it, right? I was like, can you imagine Hillary Clinton? And I'm no Hillary Clinton fan. I think the world knows that. But can you imagine Hillary Clinton sitting there and spinning out like that, and what people would be saying about her?
Oh my gosh. You'd never hear the end of it. They'd have had her under the jail by this point. It's obscene to me that a fellow attorney is behaving like this at a public hearing in Congress and is just like, what?
I honestly think, though, that, like, I think that the person who handled her the best, I think two people that handled her the best was, number one, Ted Lieu, who got her to perjure herself right then and there. But Jasmine Crockett. And the reason why I say Jasmine Crockett is because Jasmine didn't let her answer a single question. She saw how she derailed every other person that was asking her a question, and she just used her time to just drag her. That was it. Like, I'm not even going to ask you a question because you're not going to respond, because she was basically like, as a lawyer, anybody who answered like you, we would consider non-responsive.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So I thought, and Thomas Massie, of course, but I don't know what's in Thomas Massie's future, but like, he might be the only. I mean, he is just so anti-Trump right now, and Trump cannot touch him. He's tried 3 people already to run against him in the primary him in his district, and with no success.
So yeah, that may be one of our few last hopes, because nobody else looks like they're trying to do anything really.
And then another guy resigned from Congress yesterday, and he's not going to wait until midterms to leave.
Right.
He's like leaving.
So yeah, it's getting
that
too
makes-
hot.
Right, and that makes the balance almost 50-50.
So yeah, things are starting to happen very slowly at the speed of molasses, but very slowly. So, and then why do you unredact some names and not others? That's a touchy kind of thing.
Well, one of the things that they called her out on was exposing all of the women.
Right. The victims
And they
who
said,
shouldn't.
we blurred out every name that you did not redact. We know you touched it because here's one that you did redact. Mm-hmm. But everybody else here is exposed. Do you have something to say about it?
Right. But think back to when Epstein got the slap on the wrist in Palm Beach County. Who was the Attorney General of Florida at the time?
Yep.
Pam Bondi.
Yep.
Yeah. So, being Attorney General now of the United States is something that may be perceived as the quid pro quo kind of thing. It's like, oh, yeah, you did this for me? Well, here, come on. But how can you have any kind of scruples at all to sit up there and just be screaming? And I don't say this lightly, because there is very much a stereotype about women getting excited and screaming and all that kind of stuff. I don't care if she's a man or a woman. Decorum from the Attorney General, the chief law enforcement officer in the United States, is necessary to get my respect. I think probably she was playing to the MAGA base.
The audience of one.
Yeah.
It's,
So
but I would not like categorize it as sexist, because Patel performed the same way.
oh Lord, yes.
Right? Like,
But no, Patel did the exact same thing, not as effectively. I mean, she was loud and indignant, and it's like, hey, what about the victims? Meanwhile, Woody Allen's former child bride is right in the thick of the Epsteins. That blows my mind to
say
think.
more about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if for those of y'all who don't recall, Woody Allen was partnered up with Mia Farrow, who had a bunch of children, including one of her older children, Soon Yi. Come to find out, she comes home one day and she finds all these pictures of Soon Yi naked that had been taken by Woody Allen. Next thing you know, Soon Yi moves out into Woody Allen's house. It was a big thing back in the day.
And they're married now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how in
He married
the
his
world?
stepdaughter.
Yes, it was gross at the time. It's still gross, but even grosser still is Soon Yi's participation in all this stuff, because they didn't redact her name. I guess she doesn't have enough juice to get redacted. But it's like, how do you go from, and maybe that's the price of being groomed from a very young child, is you grow up with such a distorted worldview, particularly about relationships, that you're just out in left field like she is. So, yeah, those comments are very disturbing as well. So, any feedback? Anybody, any other revelations? I mean, it's horrible. You read the reports that are coming out every single day, and it's just unbelievable and horrible.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was very, very difficult to watch. Right. Do I think she should be impeached? Yeah, but I don't want him to have the power to pardon her, which is like the difficulty right now, that like I need to examine my feelings about that, quite frankly, because I don't think she deserves to be pardoned. I don't think that Ghislaine Maxwell deserves to be pardoned. I'm curious as to how bad this gets before that happens.
And that's another thing. Ghislaine Maxwell has come out and said, I will exonerate Trump and Clinton in exchange for clemency. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So I was listening to Scott Galloway yesterday. He says Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files more often than Jesus's name appears in the Bible. And but the accuracy is what I stress, because this is a numbers guy, right? Like, he gave like to the decimal point the number of times that he was mentioned, right? And it's wild. So we're supposed to believe, who's already perjured herself, according to reports. We're supposed to believe Ghislaine Maxwell is going to tell the truth about these two gentlemen and get off scot-free.
Right.
And do so.
Right. Unbelievable. The chutzpah that they have, you know. Oh yeah, I'll sign. Well, why should I believe you if it's clearly an extortion attempt? Why should I believe you? Somebody, let's see, Christine. I lost part of the message here. Let's see. She was saying that, all right, to clarify, Christine, Pam Bondi was the Attorney General in Florida, and now she's the Attorney General of the United States. Let's see who else. Okay. Giancarlo Guerrero is the music director of the Sarasota Orchestra, a 6-time Grammy Award-winning conductor, was the conductor in the Bad Bunny halftime show. Thank you very much.
It was beautiful.
This comes from Kelly. Let's see. It would be nice if I had brought my glass. Now I am completely sick with all this Epstein stuff, and anyone involved should be buried under the jail, which the governor is trying to getting the death penalty for people who sexually abuse kids. But 150 years ago, 13-year-olds were getting married and having kids. I'm so glad the nation got smart about that being wrong. Did they, though? Did they figure out as a nation that it was wrong? I think not. All right, now the emails are off the chain, and let's see. Let's talk to Joe in Venice. Hi, Joe.
Good morning, ladies.
How are you?
I'm good. How is everybody there?
We're here.
Hey, I think Bad Bunny, first of all, he was just trying to tell Mr. Trump to shove it, basically. I think that was part of the performance. And I agree with that. That got over very well. Jimmy Kimmel had a good point. He said Trump wants to rename everything So now we should rename the Epstein files the Trump Epstein files.
We should name them the Trump files, period.
Or the Trump files. That'll work. That'll work with me, too. That's just fine with me.
I mean,
and I guess, yeah, go ahead.
it's clear that Trump had a very... All right, let me say this. Allegedly, it's clear that Trump had a very active part in the whole Epstein ring of pedophilia. Just from the very few unredacted things that we have seen. And so it is just, it couldn't be more disgusting. So thank you so much for calling, Joe.
Okay, you're welcome. I had one more little suggestion for the Democrats. We have to chip away at Trump's support. And I watched an old Reagan speech where he talked about the power of immigrants. And I think if we got that more playtime, I think that might chip away at some of the remaining 90-year-old Republicans that are still hanging on.
Well, the problem is it's not just 90-year-olds. It's every age. Yeah. So, but good thought. Thanks so much, Joe.
Okay, thanks.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Let's talk to Doug in Tampa. Hi, Doug.
Hey, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been listening to you guys for about the last 2 months. I was told that you guys are the bad girls of Tampa. But hold on. Surprisingly enough, obviously they're wrong. If they continue to keep saying that, then why are they listening to you? So basically what it is you're bringing to the table, I can't say what I want to say, but it is what it is. No BS, but they keep listening to you. I can't tell you what restaurant we go to for breakfast. You've been the top of the conversation. And one day I'm gonna have too much coffee. I'm gonna tell them all where to go. But you know what? It's the round table. We don't talk about Mr. Perfect. I mean, who is that? Trump? No, he's not. He's not the man. But anyway, thank you for what you do. And you guys are awesome. And you tell it like it is. And that's what we need, more people that are aggressive and tell the truth. Thank you guys and have an awesome day.
Thank you so much, Doug. Man, you made my day. We are the bad girls of Tampa. I see a new ad meme coming out. But yeah, so it's a never-ending kind of thing, and I don't know that we will ever know the truth.
So, well, one thing that I do want to point out is that everywhere across the globe, they are handling their business. It's the United States that is the country where they are trying to obfuscate this entire thing, right?
Right.
I mean, the finance minister of London, of the UK, was forced to resign because of his connections to Epstein. Keir Starmer is in trouble because he hired the guy, right? And then King Chucky said, like, hey, you want to go after my brother? By all means, investigate him.
Right.
He's standing out of the way.
Exactly. And stripped Prince Andrew of all his time. Now he's the Andrew formerly known as Prince.
In the middle of the night said, it's time to go. Pack your bags. You're not staying here anymore.
Yeah.
And he basically exiled him. And if he goes to jail, he goes to jail. He's like, he's not, And then yesterday, I saw that Epstein's former pilot, who was flying for LATAM, right, which is a Brazilian airline, he was arrested off the plane.
Yes.
And there is a woman who was also arrested because apparently It is. She's suspected of having sold to him 3 of her grandchildren. Yes. That was in the Brazilian newspaper Telesur.
Oh my gosh.
So there are going to be other countries that do not abide by the secrecy and the hiding and obfuscation of evidence, the way that the United States has chosen to operate. It's going to be on them.
Yeah. And here we are, playing games with Pam Bondi. Put her in jail. How long do you think? I mean, oh my gosh. And if you remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison in Florida somewhere. And then here
she was in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
Outside of Tallahassee. Yeah.
And got moved to a country club jail in Texas after she met with one of the attorneys. And it's
the guy who is the second at Justice.
Yeah.
Who used to be Trump's one of his many personal attorneys.
Right. Okay, let's see. I have an email that says, "Good morning, ladies. I love the BB performance. It played like a Broadway musical with wonderful camera work." Yes, absolutely. Such strong and powerful messages. Completely disgusted with Pam Bondi's behavior, but it is not surprising considering her dark political history in Florida. Thank you for your show. Thank you, Christina. So, I get lost for words in the treachery and deceit and debauchery of it all. And people you would never think of are starting to pop up on the unredacted list.
But what also too is like the stories go deeper than this, right? Like the finance minister, well, at the time he was finance minister. I think he was ambassador to the United States when he was forced to resign. But there's something I read about him giving Epstein a heads up about the bailout that they gave to Greece as part of the European Union. And that's, like insider trading.
Right.
He had that information before the deal was done and made public. So, I mean, there's a lot of different angles to it that just show you like just how duplicitous and just how corrupt this so-called seat of power is.
Right. And it's all the oligarchs, all the billionaires out there covering for each other while they do these horrific things.
I do think that if there's any as frustrated as we are here in the United States, because we see the cover up and it's being what we see, we're told we don't see, right? I do think that in other places there is the courage for reckoning.
Right.
France is going after Elon Musk. Spain is going after Elon Musk. The UK is going after their own. Brazil is doing the same thing. Where they land internationally, there is going to be a reckoning.
Right.
I can't say that the United States, with the rare exception of a few, do they have the courage to really confront what has actually been happening.
All right, I got an email here that says, well, in the United States, we have innocent until proven guilty. And as of right now, no one except his assistant has been found guilty. Yeah, we also have a president who was convicted of crime, 34 felonies.
And innocent until proven guilty. Does that apply also to Liam in Minneapolis? And the 80% of the people that are in ICE custody that have been found to have never committed a crime?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Dave in Tampa. Hi, Dave.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, you were talking about Europe and accountability and that sort of thing. Last summer, and I'm making a point here, this country doesn't really have a mechanism to force accountability from power. Last summer in France, transportation workers went on strike, kind of crippled everything. And then the air traffic controllers threatened to walk out. And the government changed. And I think this country seems to have lost its knack for collective action that way. Like if you go back to the 30s and look at some of the strikes in the auto plants and the strategic way they did that, how they created choke points at certain plants and brought GM to their knees, and the rest of the auto industry brought them to their knees, made them concede. This country needs to figure that out. We need to figure out mass collective action, nonviolent collective action that will absolutely choke out economic activity, especially in certain sectors, and make it so painful that they have no choice but to come to the table and be accountable. Right now, they're running scot-free. We all know the president's a sexual deviant who's absolutely guilty of sex crimes. Nothing's being done because the people in power don't fear collective action at the grassroots level.
Well, and
it doesn't sting enough.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I think that is. In Europe, in France, you can't get fired just because they don't like the color of your shoes that day. Here in the United States, in Florida in particular, it's a right to work state. If you walk in and your employer says, "Oh, yeah, I don't like the color of your shoes," you're gone. Unless you've got some kind of contract, stating to the contrary. And so you've got people who depend on their jobs because through their jobs they get insurance that they're still paying for, but it's, cost is decreased allegedly. So you don't have a job. You can't do mass protest here like you can in other countries.
That's always been true. I mean, you go back to the labor movement; it was worse than it is now. People have always had to stand up to that sort of thing. My point is, there's a way to fight it. Just because you're going to lose your job, you always would lose your job. You always would lose. That's the risk. That's why you take collective action, because as individuals, you have no power. What we seem to have lost our knack for is figuring out how to do that in this country in a way that's effective. So we take out the right to work laws. No more right to work laws. You want to fire me, fine, but there's going to be mass action beyond just that single workplace.
Right. I understand your point, and I agree. It's the system is rigged to where we can't do the kind of national protest. But
I think we can. I just don't think that we've tried. Right? I feel
agree.
like I read an article the other day and they called it bread and circuses, right? Whereby we are distracted by the entertainment and we are hungry enough to not take a risk, right?
Right.
And I feel like I've been calling for a general strike for a year now. And I think that there has to be and quite frankly, you've got a strike or a boycott of Target that has brought it to its knees. I'm never going to say it's not possible, right? But are we going to get out of this bread and circuses mindset whereby the convenience of Amazon is far more important to us as individuals than it is to take collective action against them, right? And I think that it's possible, but I think that we have to raise the level of awareness so that two things are happening. We have mutual aid where we are taking care of one another, right? Same like the Montgomery bus boycotts when we think about the past. We're taking care of one another and we are collectively taking action. The other thing that needs to happen is that we need to vote these people out of office and across the board. Period.
Voting rights are under threat, and that's part of this whole thing. We need an organization, something that's above it that can command action to fight things like what they're doing to our voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We need the organization. We need the strategic brain power at the top of some kind of organization, like a new party. I don't know what it is, but something that can command action.
People with courage.
Yeah.
Well, they got that. Yeah, exactly. That too. Right.
All right. Thanks so much for calling, Dave.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Frank sent me a message, and it says, a listener wants to know about Super Bowl commercials. Did anybody pull out because of Bad Bunny? No. Nobody pulled out. I searched this as Dave was winding up, especially not Coca-Cola. That has been debunked all along the line. Let's talk to...
The commercials themselves weren't that good.
I didn't even see the commercials, so I don't care.
There was only one good one, and that was like telling guys to get their prostate checked. But other than that, they were like mostly AI. The only other good one was this one for Dunkin' Donuts. I thought that was pretty good with the Affleck and Damon boys and a couple of other celebs going to Dunkin' Donuts. That was kind of cute. But the best one was the one on like telling guys to get their prostate checked.
Okay. Let's get to Chris in Clearwater. Hi, Chris.
Hi, good morning, ladies. I emailed you on the Epstein revelations. And on Pam Bondi, Representative Congresswoman Nancy Mace posted and was confirmed by Diligent Denizen on X, or formerly known as Twitter, that they're actually the DOJ is keeping track of what the congressmen look at, what unredacted files they've actually looked at, and they're actually photos of Pam Bondi's paperwork when she's in that hearing, delivering her insults in response to the question she could not answer. That shows that she's keeping track of these specific searches by the Congress people by name, and I guess everybody's on a list. It's just a matter of what your ranking is.
Yeah.
So I think everybody. The lesson that comes back from this is it's all one big club. What you going to do about it? And we all have to learn that they're all dirty and work on the local level, not to worry about convincing somebody about who to vote for to take control of our lives thousands of miles away, but to work locally, the people that you can see eye to eye, heart to heart. And I also emailed you about Keir Starmer, where he claimed he didn't know about the ambassador being Mendelsohn being appointed before, but it was known already that British intelligence had a file on him connecting him with Epstein. And
okay, so, I got to cut you off, Chris, because Frank gave me the finger. So it's time to go, and we'll talk to you another time. But thanks for calling.
Thanks.
All right, you have been listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Please join us next week.
Thank you.
I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula. I put rocks all in my watch.